Hey, well, one thing me and Pat have been blessed with is a head of hair, Rob. I don't have a lot of positives in my life. Might need a prostate exam. I got a colonoscopy coming up. Gold, silver, and bronze might be something else that I don't know about next week when I see the doctor again.
So back to Minnesota.
Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, Week 15. Best bets, the teaser, the gold, the silver, the bronze. Plus, we'll be recapping how we did last week. Spoiler, not great. Really good for the other two, though, because that's how this works sometimes. That when those two are in simpatico, you got to watch out. That's the time to start tailing their bets. Reminder to all of you to smash the like and sub to the channel. Additionally, you can go to omahastakes.com right now. 50% off site-wide. Code MAYO gets you an extra $30 off with a minimum order. And both DraftKings Listeners Leagues are now open. Saturday slate only, Sunday slate only. We got two separate contests, and the best thing, they're both rake free. It was an 0-3 week for me, dropping me back to earth after a hot month or so after starting the season off very poorly. But you two, Cam and Rob, 2-0-1. Unfortunately, Vegas pushed you on your gold pick, but everything else, big winner.
I would say that's fortunately Vegas put. We talk about the bad beats on the show all the time, and they
we got a
stick
good
with me
beat
forever. That,
good push.
When I saw that pooch punt,
yeah.
I've never been more relieved in my entire life, because as bettors, Cam, we're watching that game. I'm sure you were too. And we just know we're going to lose. Like, it's 0-0 the whole game. You know that as soon as that turnover happens by Aiden O'Connell late in that game, it's like, well, we just lost the game 6-0. This is how the way it's going to go down. And then they pooch punt it. So fortunately, we get that push. But
you know what,
sometimes
though, Rob? A lot of these guys are complaining about that stuff. But when you think about it, the Raiders offense did nothing all day. And why would you go for a field goal? Say it gets blocked and then you got a situation. It's like, these guys have no time left. We're just going to pin them deep. You're like, oh, there's a conspiracy in betting. No, this happens all the time. How many times we've been on the wrong side of this type of situation? And I will say this, despite the push, if Hunter Renfrow doesn't fumble, we probably win that game, actually. So, like, you know what I mean? You could say what you want. Like, yes, Minnesota bettors, you can cry all you want, but the Raiders actually were inside, like, what was it, Rob? Like the 12-yard line, and he fumbled, and that was their best drive. They put up points there. You know, who knows what would have happened?
It was 0-0 for 3/4 of the game. I'd happily take a +3 when it's going to be 0-0 for 3/4 of the game.
Yes, exactly. But hey, we'll take a push, Pat. Not bad. Hey, and some people got it at 3.5 too, right? So you never know. Shop around, and hey, Rob, I'm happy with the week. I can't complain. A lot of my monster dumpster dives, Pat. That's what we do on the shows I do. They call it Cam's dumpster picks, and the dumpster was on fire, like literally.
It was a dumpster fire, literally a dumpster fire.
Yeah, it was a dumpster fire, but we found some gold in there. I was scrounging around. Usually it's cubic zirconia. Found some copper wire, taken it into the scrap man.
Well,
good money.
The teaser, the 3-game teaser we did on the show last week was a winner. However, Cam, your 7-game teaser, also a winner that you gave out. So congratulations.
Can you believe that? I know. I was going to say, because I thought I do like teasers every week with, like, you know, I put like 12 bangers together. I'm like, the only game I got wrong is Carolina in this teaser. Like, I almost went, Pat, you know how many times this year and you can't hedge out of these things, and you know that, Rob, right? Like 6,000, 4,000. Like, if anything went my way, like, I'm telling you, it would be like 20, 30 grand. But hey, that's life. I'll take a plus week. We've been betting for so long. At the end of the week, if I see a plus or you have a good day, I'm happy with it. Like, I know, oh, we could have won. Yeah, it'd be nice. Like, like, you know, once it's over like 10, 15,000, you're kind of a little bit upset, but anyway, what can you do, Pat? Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that. That monster teaser pays well, too. 7. Ooh. So there it is.
Rob, do you ever wish that you were as good at betting as Cam is?
Well, I mean, I just want to win more than I lose.
Oh, that's funny.
It.
Yeah, Rob's good. You know, Rob's sharp. Like, he knows what the hell he's doing. Trust me, Pat. If not for Carolina and the Chargers, it'd be like, let's just say I could fly out to Halifax and get smoked at the Halifax casino and still have a good trip. Like, that's basically these two teams have single-handedly cost me. I'd be at a percentage that's nuts. Like, I don't know why I come back to Carolina. Then I'm looking at them again. I'm like, how the hell do I Falcons -3, right, Rob? They sucker me in. It's like the mob. I can't get out. I can't.
Well, let's jump in. to the
Yes.
slate of games this week, week 15. Obviously, this show ain't going nowhere. We're going to be here with you through the Super Bowl every single week, making our best bets. And if you want to make some best bets, runthesims.com, code Mayo, get the prop sniper, hop in on the props because props, pretty profitable most of the time. It's one of those things where you play it in bulk and you win more than you lose, and all of a sudden you're doing pretty well. And you can get it for $12 a week with code Mayo. You can get it for cheaper if you get like the monthly or the yearly pass, but most people just like the weekly. So go do that over at runthesims.com. Here's one that stinks that, I wish that I had more confidence in it because it's my gold pick, but I just see it happening. I think Minnesota is going to beat Carolina. I'm going to take Minnesota plus 3.5 because you say
You mean Cincinnati, right, Pat? Minnesota versus Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's plus, Minnesota over Cincinnati. What did I say?
Carolina.
Carolina.
Yeah, see, I got
Yeah,
Carolina in your
you
brain.
got Carolina in my
They're hard
mind.
to get out.
I mean,
Carolina.
I-
on my mind.
If it was Minnesota plus 3 against Carolina, I think we'd all be making Minnesota our gold pick here. So
Right, go to the ATM. Yeah.
it is kind of terrifying because Jake Browning's been very, very good. But here's the thing, Rob. Nick Mullins is playing quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. He might be like a top 6 quarterback in the NFL. So this is really going to improve their team, I think.
Well, if you ask Cam, he's probably top 3, but no.
Let's no. Pat, the backups. Let's talk about it. Mullins, third string. Like Rob, you guys are eventually going to have to say, I know these guys are like, what is happening this year? Other
I'll
than
tell you
these
what's happening
sticks,
this year.
they're
2/3 of the
all-
league are backups.
Yes.
So,
And-
of course, there's going to be a backup that covers every week.
Well, you didn't put that in my contract, right? I'm just telling you what's happening. And by the way, Drew Lock rookie card, it's back. The guy played a pretty good game against San Francisco. That was against the Niners, too.
Oh, yeah, he was
Guess
great.
who didn't
the
cover?
brakes. What?
Guess who didn't cover?
No, they did. Actually, you know what? No. They did cover by game time at 14.5 when the line closed. They didn't cover the 12 that was offered before.
I don't know what local street books had 14.5. But
Dude, the line closed at 14 after Lock was announced Sunday morning. Trust me, I can show you the evidence.
Well, there were some spots that closed 14. Yep.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. Wow, this guy's Pat, he's trying to like trick me and stuff.
Well, you can't just they closed 14.5 at this
No,
one
the line
book out
was
of like
10.5.
300 books on the planet.
You're right. It might have opened like with Geno Smith. The line was what, 10.5, 11, and then. But I'm saying after the Lock news, it went all the way up to 14. I'm telling you because I saw it at 14.
What a hero. You're the backup quarterback covering 14-point spreads by a hook.
Yeah. Pat, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on. Backup quarterback whisperer.
He actually did play fine last week.
Yes.
Locke was fine. He threw downfield well. I mean, the 49ers just kind of like took the foot off the brakes late in the game, but ultimately Locke
He
was
did about
fine.
as good as you can going into a situation that poor. Like you're up against the Niners on the road. Like, give me a break. The guy played. Trust me, Geno Smith would have done none better.
No, I'm
That's
with
fact.
you. I mean, we've seen the Geno Smith experience against the 49ers, how much, like 3 times in the last couple years, and it never ends well. Ends very, very, very poorly every single time.
Who's the other ones? I had this all. You know what? It's on my phone. So when you guys have a one shot, buddy, Dan, what is up with Tommy Cutlets? No more sock on the door. That's the thing. He can get his own place now because he's going to get another deal, but he likes staying at home. Mama's cooking, sock on the door. He's the kid who lives. Rob, you're Italian, but your parents actually wanted you to leave. Not like DeVito, who want him to stay forever.
My parents did not want me to leave.
Actually, they didn't. I
chose to leave very
you
young, and then we had a conversation where they were not. It's very like sacrilegious to move in with your significant other before marriage in the Italian families.
They still know you're like what is this like soft heavy petting? Of course they know you're getting laid. Like this, I went to your wedding. You're shredding Metallica. Everybody knows. Like, it's not a secret. The difference between Italian and Scottish people is Scottish people secretly hate their kids and want them out of the house. And then once they're out of the house, they feel bad about doing it. But then ask you to do things for them, like grocery shop, take them to the doctor, take the dog to the vet. Trust me, it's a different relationship. I don't understand why it is that way, Pat. But European families, I wish I had an Italian uncle who just took care of me.
Maybe Rob can be your Italian uncle.
Yeah, if I hit the skids, maybe.
I do look older than him, despite being 10 years younger. So,
one thing me and Pat have been blessed with is a head of hair, Rob. I don't have a lot of positives in my life. Might need a prostate exam. I got a colonoscopy coming up. Gold, silver, and bronze might be something else that I don't know about next week when I see the doctor again.
So back to Minnesota.
Yes.
Do we know if Browning's good or not? He
is getting better, Pat.
I understand that, and he looks good, but one of the things that you guys brought up on last week's show with Vegas and Minnesota, like no one really believed in Dobbs. But the counter to that, as Rob brought up, was Aiden O'Connell has just been miserable against the blitz. And although the Vikings had been blitzing less than they were the first 5 weeks of the season, they were still leading the league in blitz rate. And what do? They just blitz the hell out of Aiden O'Connell. He couldn't do shit. So I think that... Look, maybe the dump-offs to Chase Brown and Joe Mixon are going to continue to work, but Browning's not really pushing the ball down the field all that much. So maybe it's make a one-guy miss and someone's gone down the field, and then you're standing there down 7-0. But I do think that Brian Flores is going to be able to dial up a defense against Jake Browning to see it in a way that he hasn't seen it yet in any of the 3 games. Like, he really struggled in that Pittsburgh game. I would expect him to look more like that in this game with Flores dialing something up against him than he did in the past 2 weeks.
I think Rob will agree with me on this one. Jake Browning, I think, eventually has major potential. I'm just going to say, I'm going to be real for a sec. I'm not going to go, backup quarterback's the best. He was the high school California Player of the Year. At Washington, he was the Pac-12 Player of the Year. And you've seen when they have weapons coming back, T. Higgins and other guys, and the team getting healthier, there's a lot more things he can do. Is he great yet? No, but he's a very competent player at this level who will continue to grow. He reads, he figures it out, and he's good. So it's one of those situations where Jake Browning getting this type of experience right now, if I was some other teams with loser quarterbacks, I'd be looking to see what we can do here because I think he has potential, Pat. But like you like Minnesota this week, correct?
Correct.
You like Minnesota? Yeah, I lean Minnesota heavily and will bet them as well. I just think it's a spot where, I think it's kind of a pick 'em game, so I'll take the dog. And I think, Rob, I know we joke around about backups and shit, and I've been right on some things, wrong on others, but I think you would agree Jake Browning is a little different than some of these guys who are stiffs.
I think so, too. Like, the market thinks so for sure. You look at Cincinnati, all 3 of his starts, the Bengals got bet on game day, which means that, like, influential money, someone throwing down big-time dollars, moving lines, $100,000 plus, was betting the Bengals on game day. So somebody has a very high opinion of Jake Browning. I thought the Monday Night Football game against Jacksonville, he was unreal. I thought that was one of the best quarterback performances of the entire year. Last week against the Colts, they won by margin. I thought it was more like scheme than anything else. It was a lot of screen passes. Basically, they kind of knew what the Colts were going to do on defense, and they schemed something up for him.
He threw a pick 6 too, Rob. It wasn't his perfect game, but
agreed.
Done. Yeah,
I think he has a lot more potential than some of these schleps we've seen in the NFL so far this year. But to like what we're all talking about here, okay, Browning has a lot of potential. I think he could be good, but look at the number in the game. If we wanted to bet this game last week, the look-ahead line on this game was Minnesota -1. You bet this game last week, the line was Vikings -1. It's now Bengals -3.5. So either the market is downgrading the Vikings heavily for Mullins. I don't see why, personally. Mullins to Dobbs.
Mullins to Dobbs is an upgrade. In all seriousness, he's better than Josh Dobbs is.
It could be, but
Mullins has been in the thing is, and we'll make this case, Pat. I'm funny, Rob, and I think you would agree. Here's the thing about Dobbs. Sure, he had that little run at the start of the year. People didn't really know, but Nick Mullins has been a serviceable backup with San Francisco, whatever, for a very long period of time. And he's a veteran backup. He knows his role. He's older and he's been in situations. Remember with the Niners, he came in there, ding, 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 ding. These Monday nights games. Mullins is one of those guys. He will make bad decisions, but he also makes some really good plays. Like he was a quarterback at Southern Miss, where Brett Favre went to school, and he was actually really good college quarterback. Like another guy. Like I look at some of these other guys, and I'm like, you weren't even that good in college. Like Clayton Tune, to me, that guy will never be a good quarterback. No. I watched him at Houston. He makes so many mistakes at the collegiate level. I don't think he's good enough to figure it out. But
the thing with Mullins, Cam.
Fun fact about Nick Mullins: younger than Josh Dobbs.
Yes.
Yeah, he is. But it seems good call, Pat. But he seems like he's been in the league. He's in the league a lot longer. Doesn't it feel that way?
Yeah, I like Mullins for this team because they're gonna play a style of defense that they're just going to try to turn you over, force you into situations where you have to make quick decisions and hopefully wrong decisions. That's how the Vikings have been living all year on defense. What I like about Mullins is he might turn the ball over as much as Josh Dobbs, but the way that he's going to turn the ball over likely isn't going to be on a 4-yard out. It's going to be him pushing the ball down the field, which I want to see. And I think Jefferson's going to play.
That's a key as well. It seems like it's trending that way. towards Jefferson playing, which is huge, obviously, whenever you have one of the best receivers in the game playing for you. The only concern, I like Mullins, by the way. I've watched Mullins. I've bet him before in starts with San Francisco. I think Mullins is perfectly fine, but there is like a sound argument to be made that he played under Kyle Shanahan, who seems to get the most out of quarterbacks every single time. Jimmy G is an example. When Jimmy G was playing with the 49ers, he was like top 3 in EPA in the league every single year because he's throwing to wide open receivers. They schemed it really well. I don't know what Nick Mullins is yet. I just know that I'm not ready to lay 3.5 with Browning. So I agree with you guys. I think this is Vikings or nothing. It wouldn't surprise me if they lost by margin, but I mean, I'm on board with you guys. I think this is too big of a price right now.
This is a big game for me, as it's an auto win in our win total draft, where I've gone 5-1 the past 2 weeks. I'm a game behind you now, Rob. First and second. Let's go.
I think I got 1-5 last week.
My ship has sailed. My team reeks, but I don't care about that. I care about other things. But by the way, Pat, just one quick thing and thank you so much for the Christmas gift. A freezer full of meat. Can't beat that. Already crushed a rack of ribs last night. I'm going to make a nice, beautiful chili after this show. I'd like to say thank you. Another theme for everybody that hates it. Every team with a B covered last week. One on the money line. Every team that starts with a B won on the money line last night. You want to go through them?
No, we don't have to go through them.
Oh, okay.
Like last name B or city B or both?
Last name B.
Okay.
Just Broncos?
Yeah,
yes.
we know the B teams.
Bengals.
We know the Bills. Yes. Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it.
There you go.
We got the Bs.
Just saying. Another interesting fact.
No, but here's what I'm saying, which I think you've missed the point now for 2 months. Here's what I'm saying.
Okay. Sure.
Let's identify this before the week.
It's hard to identify because
let's make that a segment right now. So the theme of the week, Cam, is going to be, and we'll put it up and we'll see how your themes do after the week.
It's a tough theme week because I love cats except for the Bengals. That's the whole thing. I can't I think the Cats go 3-1 this week. Birds are gonna get I don't know, they might get killed. What
about non-striped cats?
I like regular human teams this week. Can we use that as a Packers? Oh God. See, I need more time to put these categories together.
All right. Well, you think about it for next week, and then we can really cash in on these themes because they hit every week.
Well, they hit every week after the fact. Yeah. Of course, we could. This is trend mining. This is called data mining, right? You just go back, you look at past results, and you're like, this would have. Well, let's figure out what it's going to be for the upcoming week, and see how that goes.
My theme is humans and workers.
Okay.
Steelers,
Texans,
okay. Giants. Now Texans are in the Cowboy Western theme.
But so Cowboy? Oh, I'm sorry. Cowboy's not a real job to you. Sorry, Packers. You're so woke, Cam.
Cowboys? No. There's themes. I told you, country Western theme, or like horses, Broncos, and what else do we got there?
Colts.
Colts. Thank you, Rob. That's animal.
Chargers.
That's horse. And, Charger is a car.
No, Charger's a horse.
Transportation, or Charger could be human theme, electricity.
But it is a horse. The Charger's a horse.
So why would a Charger be a human theme? Why is electricity human?
Charger's not a horse. A Charger's a car.
No, Charger's a horse.
Really?
What do you think the car's named after?
I thought it was named after just a Charger. It sounds like fast and sleek. That's not like I really did. I know a horse is a stallion. I know a horse is a horse. I know a horse is a thoroughbred, a standard bred. Jockeys are called jockeys. A mare, a sire. Come on, I know horse racing. And the ones who drive in the carts are called drivers. Yes, not jockeys. Jockeys ride alone.
It's a courser or a charger. It's a war horse from the Middle Ages.
Oh, okay. So Chargers is not transport.
Well, it can be. You can put it whatever bucket you want. This is very loose definitions.
It's very malleable.
I like human worker theme this week. Packers, Steelers. Guy at the steel plant and guy making cheese.
2? You're going to put 2 teams in that bucket?
What about a 49er?
Give me a third. 49ers a Western theme. They're panning for
Why is it a Western theme? Just because it's on the West Coast? They're real workers. They're mining for gold.
Yeah, we need new parameters this game because I thought it was cool.
Wouldn't a commander be working in some capacity as well? Be commanding?
Thank you. A commander. Commanders are tough though. But yes, thank you, Rob. Yes. I will use the human worker theme with Commanders, Packers, and what was my other one? Steelers. That's my theme this week. Human workers. Commanders work in the Army.
Yeah, they command.
Steelers working at the Fasco Steel.
In fact,
Packers work at a cheese factory or box factory. They're packing.
The Commanders probably command the Chargers. Now that we figured out what that is.
Good call, Pat. See, now we're getting into parlays. We could talk about this at a deeper show when we really come up with parameters for this stuff. I didn't really know it. Pat, I learned something. I know every type of horse. I didn't know a Charger was a horse. I thought it was like literally their symbol was just like hot electricity.
I mean, that is their symbol, but yeah, apparently this is a Cust brought this to my attention because of course he would know.
And you checked the facts?
Yeah, I went and checked it too. He was right. Of course he was right. Okay. But also the other human workers that you could get behind, Patriots. The Patriots kill the British. That's like a job.
That's a good point, but I'm not sure if the Patriots fit the human team this week. It's tough. Kansas City's coming off that. Oh, yeah. We're the Chiefs. Where? We got the ref's job does. You know what? Get real. It happens to every team in the league, you fucking clowns. Anyway, I'm not sure if New England's going to score any points.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. So Minnesota plus 3.5 is going to be my gold pick. Unfortunately,
love it.
It's the first game of Saturday. So if it's wrong, hopefully the silver and bronze come through. Rob, your gold pick.
I'm going to go back to a team that I've been riding and has been well to me, and I'm going to take the Bears plus 3.5.
Yes, Rob.
Against the Browns.
The Bears have been great.
They have been, and I think they're still really undervalued. Like their defense over the course of the last month and a half, since everyone has been healthy, is actually playing better than the Browns defense, which everyone wants to give a ton of credit to over and over and over. Part of the reason why for the Bears, maybe they didn't want to spend $1 million, way more than that, in the offseason on bringing in a ton of linebackers, and they could have done something different. But that linebacking core has really helped being able to shut down the opposing running games. They've been very good against the run. They've gotten all the players back in the secondary. And with Montez Sweat there, they now actually have a pass rush as well. So things have really turned for this team. The Joe Flacco resurgence, it's been nice to watch, but he's also turning the ball over a ton. Like there's a lot of risky plays he's making. It's not like it's just like he's coming in and dominating games. You're holding your breath for like half dozen plays a game whenever he's throwing the ball. I don't think they're a team that's built to win by margin. And on top of that, what do the Browns do? They play the most man defense in the entire league. These are the types of defenses Justin Fields has a lot of success against, especially running the ball. Man coverage specifically, you're glued to your receiver. You turn your back to the quarterback a lot. These statistically are the defenses that Justin Fields has had a lot of success with over his career. The defenses he struggles with are heavy zone defenses. And I just think this is too many points based off of where these teams are at right now. You give me the hook as well. I'll take the Bears plus 3.5. I think they're very live in this game.
Of note, both of your picks.
Of note for the Bears defense, Ngakoue is out for the year with an ankle injury. He was placed on injured reserve. So their defensive line a little bit worse than it was, the past few weeks. But I'm with you. I like the Bears as well in the spot. And it's kind of you're kind of reading my mail on that one. Just the Browns give up like the two giant plays every single week. They're just going to be 80-yard Justin Field runs this week.
I take the Browns every week. They've been probably my favorite team to make money, and this is not the spot to take the Browns. This is time to get off the Browns this week.
Well, you know what, Cam? We got you want to talk about luck last week. We took the Browns minus 3.5. There was the 2-point conversion that we had to sweat at the end of the game. Ended up being a horrible number because Trevor Lawrence played. But yeah, there's a lot of things that like they're not a team that's built to win by margin. Like they should have won comfortably against the Jags last week. Quarterback playing short week, high ankle sprain. And they're leading for a lot of the game, but they just let teams back into it. I don't see Cleveland as a team that's going to consistently, be able to win, cover by more than a field goal. I think these teams are very close to level right now with the way the Bears are playing.
Yes. What's Browns as a theme? Is it human because of Jim Brown, or is it dog because their symbol is a dog?
I thought it was an elf.
It's an elf, but they also had like the dog pound and other things. So the problem with this team is they're too many. They cross too many lines.
They can't be an elf because then they would have to be included in the human worker theme.
Well, we don't have a miscellaneous magical theme. Like there's no fucking
well, but elves work hard.
Harry Potters or any dumb shit like that. Like I wish there was a mystical magic team like in WNBA, the Washington Mystics. Elves would be with them. But anyway, fuck this shit. This game's getting too hard to figure out. I had everything written down a long time ago now. things are crossing things. I'm going to go take a favorite for my gold pick. Very rare, Pat, but I'm going to go with the Detroit Football Lions as my gold pick this week.
Cam.
I
was going to pick the Lions as my goal.
Absolutely annihilate Denver. I rode this horse, and he took me to where I wanted to go. The horse drank water, and now we have a problem. Like me, heavy urination during the night, and now we're getting chased down by a pack of lions. Sorry, horse, you drank too much fluids. The Detroit Lions are coming off horrible losses. Dan Campbell's eating legs, elbows, kneecaps, whatever is on the human list of cannibals. Jeffrey Dahmer, like cannibalism. I will say this. The Lions are going to take the Denver Broncos this week and put them in a fucking pretzel. Lions by 17. And I tell you, this is the spot at home where they can do it. People talk about Goff and small hands like Pickett. You know, like my boy Dave Craig of the Seahawks used to have small hands. It's not good there. But now, at home, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. Russell Wilson, you're going to be eating turf all week. People are high on Denver. Like the stock, Rob. We were very smart with the stock last week. Packers stock, too high. Denver Broncos stock was great. We bought it low. Now we're selling too high. Lions, -4. 4 claw.
I like Denver. I think Denver might win.
I love our picks this week so far.
Denver?
It's a fucking Christmas
I
miracle.
thought you were with us, Pat. I thought we were on
You
the
like
same
Detroit.
page.
Yeah. I like Denver.
I love Detroit.
Mayo, what do you think?
I don't think that Detroit can stop anyone on defense. Anyone.
Okay. Hey, we're doing really good with the Vikings and the Bears, but everyone's got to be different, I guess. But anyway, I'm on the Lions, and I'm never going to change my opinion. Rob, you like them too?
I do.
Me and Rob. You said it, Pat. We're in simpatico now. Scary stuff.
It's this time of year we agree on too much, I would say. Too much.
We might have to get together for a beer. This is getting fucking nuts.
You guys both picked, between you, had the Jets and Giants last week, and Zach Wilson and
New
Tommy
York team.
Cutlins won player of the week for both conferences somehow.
I said it. Start spreading the news. We want a better part of it. New York. Yeah. We did it, Rob. That was a theme.
We actually live in a simulation, though. The fact that Zach Wilson and Tommy DeVito won player of the week in the same week, it's not real life
it's
anymore.
Opposite of a simulation. It's called the human element of life. That's the beautiful thing. DeVito's playing for a job. He's running his ass off, and everyone ripped Wilson, and he's like, fuck you guys. I'm actually going to go out and play, and the Jets are going to score.
They had 0 points at halftime, and he didn't really play. It's a pity award if we're going to call it out for what it is. Yeah, Wilson has got a pity.
I'll take a pity award. If anyone wants to give me an award and it's based out of pity, I don't give a shit. All I know is one thing. Everybody in the world mocked this guy. They're laughing at DeVito for living at home. And who gets the last laugh? Those two guys. Yeah. Jets, Giants.
I had a question about the Giants this week. They're 6-point dogs in New Orleans.
I like the Giants.
Carolina was a 5.5-point dog in New Orleans last week. What's going on here, Rob?
Short week for the Giants. I don't want to call it like a fraudulent win because it's not fraudulent, but they won the turnover margin by 2. It was still a close game. Their quarterback threw for 105 yards total. So I don't think that there's believers in the Giants, generally speaking. Potentially some upside in the Saints getting players back from injury. They were very decimated last week, especially in the wide receiving core. So there's all that stuff. I agree with you. I think the Panthers are worse than the Giants. So if you want to do the transitive property, as we call it, you'd want to bet the Giants this week. But it's not apples to apples because of short week and potentially some players back for the Saints.
Am I taking crazy pills that the Saints are one of the worst teams in the league and no one seems to treat them that way?
I think they're horrible too, Pat.
The whole division.
Fact is, Carolina was playing with them for a while and they pulled to Carolina. First down at the 1, backwards. Stroud taking sacks again. Then they're moving the ball again. They do it. Out of field goal range. Mistakes. This team left so many points on the table last week. People look at the score. The Saints killed the Panthers. No, they didn't. No. The Panthers just fucking suck.
The Saints had 200 yards of offense in the game. Exactly. And they won by 22. That's just because the Panthers are terrible. It has nothing to do with the Saints. Bryce Young, the guy, I wouldn't even take him on a CFL team if I was managing a CFL.
The problem is I don't want to lay 3 with Atlanta either. It's a tough game.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to silver picks then. I just had that question because we were talking about the
No,
Giants.
Pat, you've asked
No,
great
it's true.
questions.
The Saints are overvalued. They have been all year.
Like, honestly, and I like that. I've always been like, kind of have a soft spot in my heart for that organization. They won me huge money in the Super Bowl when everyone got raped on the Colts. So I'm going to tell you, like, but they're a bad team. And the thing is, I think the Giants might win that game. What do you guys think?
Not to like derail this, but I was thinking about this the other day because someone asked me this on Twitter. If you had to pick a coach in that division to coach your team, who's coaching your team in the NFC South?
Todd Bowles.
I agree.
With a bull.
It has to be Bowles, right?
Bowles is better than all those idiots. Honestly, that division has the worst coaches in the history of coaching.
Yeah,
they're all morons.
And I don't
one of them.
I don't like Todd Bowles, but at least I know that if nothing else, like the defense should be somewhat competent. And I think I pointed it out on like multiple shows now, so I don't want to like reiterate it down. But the Carlton Davis pick that we saw against Atlanta, where he just jumped the Bijan route without like any sort of prompting, that's a Todd Bowles interception. Like he's like, here's what's going to happen when Ritter does this and Bijan does this. Just jump it. Like that's a coaching thing.
Yep.
Great call,
Yeah.
Pat.
I actually think Baker's the best quarterback
again.
in the division too. Like I think they have the best quarterback and the best coach, the Bucks. As
The
sad
bottom
as that
line
is to
is
say.
we should take the Bucks, move divisions, and put Staley and the Chargers into that division. We'll have every fucking loser coach in the league all in one place. Man, that guy's a fucking moron.
Well, we're doing a new show after the Super Bowl with Jeff because he keeps kind of hammering down on that because he was talking about the Patriots a while ago, that if the Patriots ended up with 2 wins in the second pick or the first pick, that they would actually have, like in his power rankings of how seasons went for teams, he would have them at number 3 behind the 2 teams that made the Super Bowl because they would end up with this like generational potential pick. Whereas if a team finishes 15th in the league and gets the 15th pick, then, it wasn't a very good year whatsoever. So now he's like all on team tank Chargers.
Yep. I would be too. I would be as well. You want to increase if you're not going to go to the playoffs, you might as well increase your draft capital at any means possible.
That's what I like about the Jets and Giants. They don't care. And no, you can't tell the players that. Players play for players, right, Rob?
Well, for sure.
Players play for family, friends, everything that's important in their life. When the tank is not in, like when I played hockey or whatever, Pat, there's no tanking. Even when we're shit, we go out and try our best, and we try to I got pleasure in beating teams that were going to the playoffs or too high on their horse. And I think that's a human thing. Like when you're a shitty underdog, you just want to go in there and beat the crap out of these teams. Like when I see KC lose, it makes me happy. It's just one of those things.
But
like, I don't know. Maybe that's the way I'm wired.
I don't think I don't think that there's players in any sport that are intentionally trying to tank. I think it's more of the front office that is making decisions. Listen, I don't know how severely hurt Justin Herbert is. Like, could he have taken a week off and played through this injury if this was week 3 and they were 2-0? Maybe. I mean, he played with broken ribs last year and he didn't require surgery. But now that they're out of it, go get your surgery, Justin. And now they're starting Easton Stick, which makes them worse.
Easton Stick.
Of course. I think a lot of it, too, is maybe preparation for the game as well. Like, if you're a player who watches, 20 hours of tape a week and now you're eliminated from the playoffs, are you going to put in the same amount of prep work every week?
Maybe as a quarterback, yes. But I just think that both the career span of an NFL player is so short that you don't want to waste any snaps where that could potentially get you a new contract. And there's no sport where not going 100% would get you hurt as often as football.
Pat, they're trying to beat down Eckler so he doesn't get a good deal. Like this team is just,
I think he is beat down.
Eckler's hurt. Like
he's got something going on.
Oh, big time. Watch him play. There's a problem there. Like, don't look at the number. Oh, Eckler had another touchdown. Have you watched the other carries? Like guy 0.8 yards. Like he's getting it's nothing. He's hurt, and the Chargers are burying him into the ground. Like it's just they're so stupid.
He looks like Trent Richardson out there, basically. Eckler right now. Broken man.
Sometimes you're just done. You're cooked. Maybe he's not, but he is for this year. Rob, silver pick.
I'm going to use the Lions as my silver and go with Cam here. I think there's a couple things that have been happening. I don't like the Lions defense, but I also don't think that the Denver Broncos are the team that's necessarily going to expose that. They give up a lot of big explosive plays to the Lions. The Broncos don't generate a lot of big explosive plays. Generally speaking, they play a more safe style of offense. I think that plays into the Lions' hands a little bit more. But one thing was the Detroit offense, which has struggled in recent weeks. Bears, Saints, Bears, those 3 games, teams that stop the run really well. Both the Bears and the Saints are top 7 in defensive rush success rate. The Broncos are one of the worst in the league. I think if the Lions can run the ball, that opens up so many things for their offense. Also, the Broncos, huge cover 3 team. They played at one of the highest rates in the entire league. That's the defense that Jared Goff cooks. The reason why he struggled against the Bears and the Saints, they mix in a lot of cover 2, which is the defense that Goff struggles against. I think that this is just like the spot, basically the buy low, as Cam said, the sell high, buy low spot. I think we're here right now at 4, so I'll take the Detroit Lions.
See,
it's a Christmas miracle, Patrick.
Maybe
the simulations, the computer, my human stuff. We're all coming together and loving mega chips and human blood and gigabytes. It's just a fucking glorious time of the year.
So let me run this by. So I think why this ends up being a field goal game in my mind, or Denver ends up winning potentially, is that Denver can't really stop anyone on the ground. So we're going to see a lot of Gibbs. We're going to see a lot of Montgomery, thus shortening the game. Now, they're probably going to be very successful and be able to score points. I have no issues with Detroit putting up 25 in this game. And what Rob pointed out is true. There's not a lot of explosive plays from Denver, but they really only have 2 types of plays. It's either little dump-offs and running the ball, just everything near the line of scrimmage, or they just kind of YOLO it and Russell drops back, scrambles around, and throws it to Courtland Sutton for like 80 yards somehow. It happens every single game. Courtland Sutton is apparently unstoppable for 1 touchdown every single game. There's none of that mid-range stuff, but because of that, they don't really turn the ball over all that often. So it doesn't seem like the takeaways are going to be there. And if there is going to be someone who can beat them deep, or a defense where they can beat deep, it does feel like it might be this defense. So I just see it being close the entire way through, because it's going to be hard for Detroit to pull away.
Denver does play a lot of close games. They have gotten to where they are now purely because of turnover margin. So that's very valid. They force turnovers on defense. They don't commit much on offense. The only time that they really did was a few weeks ago against Houston, the 22-17 game, where I think Russ or the offense had 3 turnovers in that game. But yeah, I mean, that's valid. I look at the lines this year, games where they were able to run the ball with ease. Chargers game, offense put up 41.
But what did the Chargers score in that game? A team that went and
38.
Got shut out the next week.
38. That's like, that was a Chargers team that was moving the ball successfully against them as well. I would argue though that Chargers offense at that point is much better than the Broncos offense at this point.
That was like 3 weeks ago.
No, it was before the bye. It was the Lions game before the bye. So 6 weeks ago now, because they've been out. They had the bye and then they've had 4 games since then. So 6 weeks ago was that game. I'm trying to think back to Lions previous, the Thursday night football game against the Packers. They put up 34 in that game where David Montgomery had like 120 yards. There's another game that's eluding me earlier in the year where the Lions put up a ton of points where they were able to run the ball very easily. But like that's been the case.
They lost, but they scored a lot. Like every game.
It was the Panthers game. It was when they hosted the Panthers in October. They put up 42, which by the way is a very good output on the Panthers defense when all is said and done, the way that they've been playing. And that's because they were able to run the ball successfully. So I just think that opens up so much for the offense. And the last 3 weeks, they've just run into teams that did not allow them to do that. And it hasn't worked out well for them.
Okay. So Detroit -4. Cam, do you have a silver pick?
I'm probably going to regret this. We were doing so well. I like the Buffalo Bills as my silver pick. They're at home. I know Dallas looked great against Philadelphia. I'm really concerned about the Bills' injuries. I know Hyde's out. That's why I'm still betting it, but I'm a little bit concerned. I just think Buffalo runs the table. I think this is a football team. They figured it out. They almost gave it away again, guys, against Kansas City, but Allen looks like a man possessed. I just think Dallas kind of walks into Orchard Park and goes through the motions. I know they're playing for a divisional title, but I just see this kind of as a letdown spot for some reason. And I think the Bills win this game by 7 to 10 points. So I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills, but I'm very concerned about their injury report. There's a lot of games I like this week as usual, and this one fits in the 2-hole. Bills, please. -2.
Yep.
Well, it's funny because the 2 games that I had lined up for my silver and bronze were actually your gold, Rob, and Cam silver. I like the Bills and I like the Bears this week. So I'm going to make Chicago +3.5 my silver pick this week. Because we kind of broke down that game already. So I have some questions about other games before we move on to the bronze, because maybe I'll kind of shake it up here a little bit, do a snow globe, so maybe we can kind of scattershot the board and try to get that that elusive 9-0 week that we've never had. Actually, no, we had it once.
Doing another teaser?
Well, we do a teaser every week.
You're damn right we are.
Why does this come as a surprise to you? This is
I
we've been doing the same show every week. We always do a teaser.
No, I mean a super teaser. Let's go.
You know what?
Like
You can have the floor after we do our 3-team teaser. You can give out as many legs of a teaser as you want to do.
I might do every game. South Carolina.
But you like Carolina. Let's talk about that game. Because there's on paper, nothing should be easier this week than Falcons -3 against like the worst team ever. But I'm kind of with you. I kind of like the Panthers.
I like Carolina, but I'm not betting it. It doesn't go in minerals. They're just like as I said, without this stupid cat, like he's Meow Mix Tender Vittles. Like he is the opposite of a Panther. He's just a bad cat. Like he just pisses all over the house. He's useless. Goes for walks. Neighbors are bringing him back. Like, why am I taking him in? It's a disaster with this team. Like, it's just every week, Pat. Like, I go, ooh. And the worst is you keep on betting them, right, Rob? Because they're in good spots. Because your other team, you don't.
No, I don't keep on betting them. I regularly.
Oh, it's all okay.
I think they're horrible, and we continuously realize on a weekly basis how horrible they. Like,
so do you like Atlanta?
I'm not going to bet Atlanta, but Carolina has the worst run defense in the league. What does Atlanta want to do? If it was up to Arthur Smith, he would want to run the ball 55 times in this game. He could probably do that, and they would still maybe cover 3. I'm scared that the Desmond Ridder throws 20 times and 2 of those are interceptions. That's what I'm really scared of in this game. But like the Carolina offense sucks. They've had like 6 games since the bye week. The most yards per play they've had in a single game since their bye week was 4.1. They cannot move the ball on anyone. Their quarterback is not even fit to be a backup quarterback right now. Is
Stroud going to fit? Like, is he ever going to get better? Because I don't understand like some of these other guys are figuring it out. Like he was pretty decent. Like I don't understand how bad he is as an NFL quarterback.
Well, there's been quarterbacks that have had horrible rookie year. Peyton Manning had a horrible rookie year. Yes, Troy Aikman had a horrible rookie year. These guys turned out to be.
Rob Rick Meyer had a great rookie year and regressed after that. Then he became shit. Like he won offensive rookie of the year, and then he was horrible after that. So you never know how people are gonna.
Josh Allen is another one too. Like there's a lot of quarterbacks that struggle out of the gate, and you do have to give them the benefit of the doubt because they don't have an O-line. Adam Thielen's their number 1 receiver. Mm-hmm. Their coaching staff is a bunch of morons. The organization's a disaster. So you have to like take that into account. But he's not shown me anything because he can't hit the open throws right now. That's the problem. He's missing guys that are open. When they do get separation, he can't make the throw. So I don't know. I don't hold up much hope for Bryce Young. And like I think this will be a very frustrating game if you bet the Panthers, where their defense plays really well, at least through the passing game. Maybe they hold up in the red zone and you're just like every Panthers game, offense, do something, and they can't. Like, I mentioned with the Saints, they gave up 207 yards, Cam. The Panthers defense to the Saints last week. They lost by 22 points.
Unreal.
It's not even, it shouldn't be possible. They just reinvent ways to lose. And I think they're useless, the Panthers.
Yeah.
So watching Bryce Young, noted film expert Pat Mayo, pro scout Pat Mayo, from watching Bryce Young this year in his size profile, his arm strength, everything that he does, it feels like his upside is current Baker Mayfield. Which is not good.
Yeah.
Mayfield's a grinder.
What's that?
Yeah.
He's a grinder. Like he's actually, I give him a lot of credit this year. The guy's really done well. Like
who, Baker or Bryce?
Baker. Bryce is horrible.
Baker's played fine.
But what I'm saying about Bryce Young is that like if it now feels like if everything goes right, he's just the current iteration of Baker Mayfield, which is not where you want to be with. I know that Baker was the number 1 pick, but they just took this guy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you because like everyone was doing the Kyler Murray comps going into the year, right? Because he's short and, Bryce Young has some speed. He's not like Kyler Murray at all. And he never will be, I don't think. I mean, he can pick up some yardage with his legs on third down. And that's the only way they move the ball, basically, nowadays. They had like a big play in Miles Sanders last week as well, which, I mean, that's probably the first time this year that happened. But I don't know, like every week, I think people are constantly talking themselves into the Panthers because they're like, this spread, it's too many points. The last time I bet the Panthers was a cover against the Houston Texans coming out of their bye week. I still have no idea. After watching that game back in full afterwards, I have no idea how that happened. And I've just vowed to myself, like, I'm done. There's teams that are sometimes so bad that they are unbettable. And to me, that's the Panthers.
The problem is, guys, when you're betting the Panthers all the time, It's an addiction. And now I can't get off it. It's just what I do. Like my morning cut, like, it's almost like the heroin I can't.
I have that
stop.
with the Patriots.
The
Patriots are my addiction.
If I stop, they're going to cover against Atlanta. That's the problem. I just got to win all my other games. I'm taking Carolina again, Pat, and they'll probably lose by fucking 4. And you know what? You sit there and go, hey, serves you right. But I might put them in a teaser.
Yep.
Plus 10 seems pretty. Well, actually, with that, I can't do that.
But I know that feeling, Cam. I mean, I bet the Patriots against the Giants and the Chargers was, and then I'm like, as soon as I get off this bandwagon, you know they're going to win a game, and naturally,
like the Chargers. How do I bet the Raiders this week? They didn't score any points.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
Did you see Easton Stick throw that? There was a play in the red zone at like the 5-yard line where he had a running back or receiver wide open. And for some reason, he tossed like 120-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, it's like, dude, put some air under it.
It's like, yeah, you can. The guys, you just have to literally lob it out. It was actually the funniest. I almost fell off my chair watching Easton Stick throw the football this week.
Yeah, well, Easton Stick, he thinks he's Al McInnes. That's the problem in the slap shot competition.
Easton Stick.
So when we started this show, the Bills were 2.5-point favorites against Dallas.
It's 2.
Cam, it's now 1.5.
Oh, okay, we're still taping. Come on down. Yeah, because you know what? Micah Hyde's out.
Yeah, but you already locked in the Bills -2 though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't get 1.5. Okay, that's fair.
You've already made the bet.
Click the submit button. It's
if we tape the show just a little bit later, I could have got that 1.5.
So bronze pick for me. I don't know. You want to talk about a team that I'm addicted to, and I feel like now is the time to get back on because they've been exposed as frauds after playing the probably most difficult 4-game stretch that any team has played all year. I'm taking the Eagles -4 on Monday night against the Seahawks. Like, the Seahawks aren't good. They're actively bad. And the Eagles are still good, but they keep losing to elite teams.
The problem with the Seahawks is they're trying their best, and they're just, like, they really work hard, but they're just outclassed. Dallas is better than them. Eagles are better than them. San Fran's way better. That's the problem.
I think that, like, the thing for me with Dallas and Philly last week, I mean, Dallas won the game comfortably, but like the Eagles fumbled 3 times in the game. Hurts, Smith, and AJ Brown all fumbled in that game. And that makes a massive, and like the Eagles just don't do that often. It's very uncharacteristic for them. I'm kind of with you, Pat. I think that, like, maybe it's not this game. I don't know if I'm there yet.
It could be this game.
But it could be this game where it's like, this is the buy low spot on Philly after that gauntlet of teams. So I'm not betting the Seahawks in this game.
It just, if they had won last week, let's say you just reverse the scores, flip them. Philly beats Dallas. Now, obviously they didn't, but if that was the case and they win, what was it, like 33-14 or whatever it was, what is Philly favored by in this game? A touchdown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a touchdown, but 6.5.
6.5. Yep. For sure.
Yeah. And like, I don't think, well, as you mentioned, they fumbled the ball 3 times. They got outclassed by Dallas. The case I'm not trying to make the case that Philly should have beat Dallas last week. They should not have beat Dallas last week. They were bad. But yeah, when you run through, they Chiefs, Bills, Dallas, San Francisco in a 4-game month stretch is tough. And maybe they're exhausted from it, but Seattle's a team that's probably not going to make the playoffs now.
No, they're in big trouble. What do you guys think about the Jaguars in a bounce back spot against the Ravens getting 3?
I like the Jags. Trevy's practicing in full too. So like,
trust me, that game versus Cleveland, it was just a bad spot, bad situation. You could tell by their body language. They wanted to get out of town. The only reason they got close, they had a pass interference call, which was kind of shady against Cleveland late in that game. So I got to tell you guys, like, I think it's going to be another huge dog week. Like, I'm looking at dogs. I can make a case for a lot of them. Like,
my concern with the Jags is that it's actually looking like it's going to be a bad weather game now with like 30-mile-an-hour winds, worse than what Baltimore played against the Rams last week, which actually didn't end up being too bad. The Jags can't run the ball. Like, the one thing about the Rams against the Ravens is the Rams with Kyron Williams actually can run the ball successfully in that type of game. The Jags have not had success running it all season long. That's my only concern. I would actually really like the Jags in this spot. I'm hoping that things clear and they're a little bit better for them going forwards. But I'm a little bit concerned that it turns into one of those games where they're just trying to pound ETN and that like hasn't worked for them all year.
Yep.
So
bronze
pick. Philly -4 is my bronze pick.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, Pat, it's a spot where people are going to play Seattle. I will as a fan, but I'm going to have to find different ways to play them, probably in a teaser. I still have a heart, like even though gambling, like I know it takes your heart and it crunches it up and all you care about is money and stuff, but I still want this team to do well. But Philadelphia, the way they're playing, they're going to be really angry coming into Seattle. And I don't know if Seattle has the answers. Their defense is 26 in the NFL, Robert, 25th against the pass. It gets a problem. Like they have big, tall receivers. Pete Carroll called out Adams and a couple other guys. That probably is not going to go over well. As professional athletes, they'll probably take it personally instead of like digging deep. But anyway, what are you going to do, Pat? I have no problem with the Eagles this week. They're probably going to win that game by 10 points.
All right. Well, if that's the case, are you taking the Eagles as well?
No, I'm not. I'm not betting you. No, there's like 7 other games that I have listed as my bronze pick. You know what? I'm not even going to screw around. Me and Rob have computers and blood and humans have loved each other, and we've created a cyborg. Together, we are part human, part machine, and the Bears were my logical pick. The opposite of Spock I am. I will take the Bears, plus 3.5. I also, other things that I like include the Steelers, the Vikings, the Commies, and the Packers. But I'm going to take the Bears. Done.
It was just announced that the NFL can play up to 8 games internationally starting in 2025, not counting the Jags game at Wembley.
They should do more in Germany because they actually like that league was good with the Rhine Fire and the Frankfurt Galaxy and stuff. Germans actually they love the football. They'll have
they love their John Denver in Germany as well.
I know. I know. Like country roads. Like I explain the world to me. Like where the fuck is John Denver? Like I go to Munich and listen to John Denver. Oh yeah,
John Denver, Neil Diamond. They got to be the biggest celebrities in Germany.
Rob, you might hate a lot of stuff. If I fucking hear Sweet Caroline one more time, I might grab like somebody I don't even know and just like when I hear that song when a team's losing in a game, like it's as bad as the old Leaf song with Hall & Oates. Enough. End it. It's so fucking stupid. Like touching head, shut up. I hate it. So annoying. Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. Get a grip. Get a new song. Anyway, Bears plus 3.5.
All right, so we're all on the Bears. I didn't realize they were going to Brazil next year.
Oh. Wow. That could get stabby.
Well, I mean, they did play in Mexico City a few times, and that
altitude's nuts in Mexico City, by the way. Rob, Stadium Azteca might as well be playing in heaven. Like that thing. Like I don't even know how guys breathe.
The 85-yard punts.
Pat, I'll tell you, if I went to Mexico and had to do like run a 100-meter dash, you might be putting like me in the hospital with an oxygen mask. Like that's tough. Like that's why UFC fighters, right, Rob? They train in Albuquerque. Like if you're a guy, train in Mexico. Like fuck, it's like the altitude's insane. Then you go fight in a regular spot. It's like, hey man, I feel like I'm 20 years younger. Benjamin Button, let's fight.
Remember when everyone credited that for Lance Armstrong? It's like, oh, he trains in Denver. That's why he's so good.
No, just drugs.
Yep, just the steroids.
I hate that asshole.
I like Lance Armstrong. I'm on Team Lance.
He's a
live strong, baby.
Yeah.
I had so many of those bracelets. Now you're just
being heel. He's a bad dude. He dated Sheryl Crow. Like you're letting Sheryl Crow go? You're a moron, dude. That chick's amazing. She's drinking beers in the morning and stuff. You're with Lance Armstrong. She could do better.
Well, maybe he let her go because she was drinking beers in the morning.
Maybe
that
she let him go. Well, no, I'd rather drink a Budweiser in the morning than pop my fucking steroids or go see a doctor, stick a needle in my ass. What's worse?
He wasn't taking anabolic steroids. He was doing the blood transfusion thing, wasn't he? The blood doping.
Oh.
He just had to get some new blood, Cam. Some people need new blood all the time.
Fresh blood.
Well, hey, man, you got children's blood like ask the Rolling Stones. These guys are putting out albums, for God's sakes. You think it's just longevity? Obviously, it's blood of children. Anyway, I can't deal with Lance Armstrong. I think he's an absolute fucking cocksucker. Like, honestly, if I met him, I'd spit in his face. He's a bad guy.
Rob, do you have
you can't defend him, Pat. I please tell me you're joking.
No, love Lance. Lance, 2-part Lance documentary is what you want to watch. Do you have Cam or Lance Armstrong as your bronze pick, Rob?
I am very simpatico with Cam again this week. I'm going to use the Packers minus 3.5 as my bronze.
Dude, that was going to be my bronze. I went with your Bears. We better win both, Rob.
Well, let's hope we win both. I think that there's a lot of positive upside for the Packers, both in the possibility of Christian Watson, Jair Alexander, Quay Walker returning to the lineup. These are guys that they missed pretty desperately against the Giants. But this is more so for me of like Tampa Bay is going out of division again.
Yeah.
And when these NFC South teams play each other, you don't realize how bad they are. But the Bucks beat the Panthers and then they beat the Falcons. By the way, I don't even know how they beat the Falcons last week. If you look at that box score and you had no idea what the score was, you would have thought the Falcons won by 21 points.
That's why the Falcons. That's why they're a bad bet every week.
Yeah, but
they're like Carolina.
You watch the game and you're like, oh, I see exactly how this happened. Now, it did have to come down to Baker making a drive to save the season, essentially. But that's a bad box score game because Tampa was like, here, you do this, and every time you try to do the other thing, we're going to take the ball from you.
Yeah, well,
there was line is, Pat, don't you have Tampa Bay to win the division at the start of the year?
I do, 10-1.
It's alive.
I'm not having the greatest year in season on the best bets, but my gold pick from our future show is already cashed. Do you remember what it was?
I know you like the Bucks to win that division.
That was my bronze pick at 10-1. Bucks to win the division.
Was it Chargers win on? What was it?
It was Panthers under wins.
Oh yeah.
Beauty.
That's one of the best bets of the year. It's all If you have a sports book, they've already credited your account. If they do it that way.
Well, I had a couple people tweet at me. There is one in particular who I have no contacts at, but they have not paid that out yet.
I'll tell you why, Pat.
Why?
Sorry, Rob, you go first, and then I'll tell you.
They actually have to play all the games. So if one of the Panthers games gets canceled this year, technically they can cancel that bet.
Rob,
I would take
that already paid out. He does futures processing mathematically after a team is eliminated every year. Like he just did it last night.
Who did it last night?
The guy on my street book.
Okay, forget about the street books for a second here. In like the legal regulated market, there's terms and conditions on every bet, and for win totals, in order for this to work, this happened a couple years in the NFL. You'll go in some sport. I don't remember what it was. Major League Baseball, they didn't play the final game. People lost their shit. You probably will get paid no matter what because the sportsbook doesn't want that bad PR. They might as well just pay you out. But that's the reason that they don't settle usually until the end of the year because by the terms, they're required to play all the games in the season.
I got paid out by my, I guess, gray market sportsbook because there is no legal sports betting where I am.
Yes.
Street market, gray market, who cares?
But it is a legal sports book where sports books are legal.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I think mine might be legal and
it's not, by the way, even with gray market, it's not illegal for you to place the bet, Pat.
No, I agree.
Yes.
But it's unregulated is probably the best way to put it.
Yes. I like unregulated.
I mean, they should pay them out right away anyways.
Yeah, they
might as well get the money back into people's accounts.
Instead, guys
so
are bitching about, my player got hurt. How about you just pay people when you fucking mathematically won or lost your bet?
I don't know why they don't.
That would be one time where I probably would. If somehow, if they were holding my Panthers money and then, week 18 got canceled for the Panthers, the NFL was like, fuck it.
Oh, Pat, I'm on your side?
Then I would take to the social medias to be like, hey, why don't you pay me out on my winning bet here?
I would do more. I think we should hire a lawyer. That would be so absolutely insane that we'd just bury people.
It's not worth it for my $200 bet. Lawyers tend to run a bit more than that.
Good point. He's got to work pro bono. We've got to be a fan of the show with legalese.
I'll get my wife. Be like, you're on payroll now. Can you go fight this for me?
Yeah.
All right. So Green Bay minus 3.5. I like Green Bay minus 3.5. I'm on exactly the same wavelength as you, Rob, that every time that you see these NFC South teams against non-NFC South teams, just pick the other team. And I mean, if Green Bay stock was too high last week, you're probably getting an uptick for Green Bay and a downtick for Tampa Bay and a downtick for Green Bay just based on what we saw last week.
Right. We just got word that Justin Jefferson is playing.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
So you lock her in. It's pretty good. So what's the line now? Is it
still 3.5?
Okay, fair enough.
But it's now juiced up to minus 115 from minus 1.
So we've agreed almost every pick, Pat. The only one you don't really like is
Detroit. We're opposite Detroit. Broncos and Lions.
So we need to. We need Detroit. It's our goal.
But listen, I didn't feel so strongly that I took the Broncos. I don't like it.
Okay.
So let's come up with a teaser then.
Can I ask you quickly though, just about we didn't go over one game. What do you guys think about Rams and commies?
I like that.
I find the
I lean
over too.
I lean commies, but I wouldn't bet them.
Okay, fair enough. Rob,
I think it's high. It's very high for an NFL game. The Rams offense with Kyron Williams is very, awesome. Very, very good. They're incredible. They can run the ball at pretty much the best level efficiency wise in the league. Washington doesn't stop anything. I think there's going to be a lot of points in the game. Agreed. I don't know who's going to cover. I think the number's fine, but also a bad travel spot for Rams as well.
Yep.
Cross country, right?
Yep.
They went on the East Coast to play Baltimore, come back home. Commanders off a bye. Not the best spot for the Rams.
Agreed.
Teaser for week number 15. Who wants to nominate a leg here?
Okay.
Are we going to go Bears 9.5?
What about Steelers plus 8.5?
I could do that too. I just hope to God TJ Watt plays, but I don't want him to play because I want to bet the over.
You guys want to do all the Saturday games? Chargers plus 9, Vikings plus 9.5.
Well,
I don't want
Steelers
Chargers plus
8.5.
9. I don't want Chargers.
We don't
plus
do
9.
Thursday on this show. You know that.
Oh,
That's Thursday.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget. Let's go. Can we Chiefs down? No, it's still 9.5. Nah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go Bears 9.5. That'll be my
Yes.
contribution to this.
Okay.
So you each get one.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're playing 6-point teaser.
Yeah.
We're doing 6.
What
For
are
my
the-
super one, I might need 7. Just telling you.
But
Might need
it's,
7.
yeah, okay. If you want to do a 7-point teaser for your super one, you can do that because that one's all on you. For this one, we're doing 6. Is there a chance
Okay.
CJ Stroud plays?
Yeah. Yeah, you
That's
can
a-
clear pro.
If that's the
It's
case,
happened. The NFL doesn't care about concussions in the latter half of the year. First half of the year, you can never clear protocol in the same week. Second, and now everybody clears
I
protocol.
love
in the same
Houston.
week.
I'm with you, Pat. I think CJ Stroud's a young guy. This team's really close. I think he plays. And I would take 9 points.
you want to do
And
that?
even if he doesn't, Davis Mills can come
Oh,
to
yeah.
9 points.
Another backup quarterback. Oh, Davis Mills with experience? Yes. He
mean-
might not be able to run, but Davis Mills. You know what? I almost want Davis Mills to get in there and have a game-winning touchdown so I can come back and you guys could have smoke coming out your ears again with my backup quarterback.
But he's playing a backup
But he's
quarterback.
playing a backup quarterback. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Guaranteed win for you, Cam. You can parade around with whatever backup
what a
quarterback
system.
wins.
Can't miss.
There's a million backup quarterbacks playing.
Hey, Will Levis. Yeah, Will Levis played good. I actually know not. But just Miami just was not ready for that game. That game felt manipulated, by the way. It was a lot of weird stuff.
Sounds like you bet Miami.
I had him in a super team. Yes, can't lie. And that was my last leg for a lot of money. And I just didn't have the balls to hedge out. And then we got to a point where we couldn't. Stupid.
So
I want Houston as my leg. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I'm with
fine
you,
with
Rob.
that.
You're
Yeah, okay with that.
Houston up to 9. So Rob, it's on you. I know which one you should take. If you want the
me too.
Bears, we can sub out the Bears and make that yours, and I can take another one.
No, so here's what this is unorthodox for me. I don't typically
Tease
do
3-0?
this. Well, I don't ever tease 3-0.
Ooh.
I'll do the Jags. I'll take the Jags
Yeah,
up to plus 9.
it's going to be a close game.
I think the total's really low. The total's 43. They're expecting really bad weather. What's the likelihood they're going to lose by double digits? I think
None.
it's
I know.
Great call, Rob.
I want to stop hearing about this bad weather stuff on Wednesday. By the time we get to Sunday,
Me
it's not
too.
bad weather anymore.
Oh, by the
Well,
way,
it could be worse weather.
But Pat's right. Take a look at the results of the over-unders last week where all those lines got knocked down. It was over City last week, man.
Yeah, but you could bet the weather cleared and the market moved back to the overs.
Not to the exact same numbers sometimes, Rob.
went-
They stayed too low, right?
Well, the Indy Cincy went higher than the original number.
But everyone loved the over in that game. That's public
But-
money
but
just
you can't
smashing the bet.
Yeah, but
Right?
the bad we know what the weather is going to be like on Wednesday. We can't say with a certainty. However, I mean, there's money is coming in on these totals
Listen,
because someone.
Bottom
believes it.
line is this: we're not fucking meteorologists. The Jags
No,
are not
no
going
one's-
to lose by 9. And
Okay,
end of discussion. There
sure.
we go.
I
You're right. But you're right, Rob.
I was going to suggest. I mean,
Yes.
we haven't locked in. Chicago, Houston, Jacksonville, all up 6 points. I was gonna say the Giants up to 12 against New Orleans.
I like that too. I think I'm surprised the Giants didn't make our minerals, but there's something telling me, like, that little voice? He's telling me be careful this week. Maybe the Saints win by like 7 or something.
So Tommy might have to put the sock back on the door.
Yeah, he still does. It doesn't matter. He's still at home with mom and dad.
I mean,
I'd love to be
Derek
living in
Carr
the
might be
DeVito
still
house.
at home with mom and dad. If he's,
could be.
I don't know if he's married or not. If he's married, of course, he lives with his beautiful
I just saw a
wife. If he's
commercial with
not,
Derek Carr, Pat. And
For
honestly,
what?
the product looked great. And then I was something like rejuvenation. I use it after every whatever. I'm like, this is one product I will never buy. He's endorsing a product. I don't want it.
Well,
Like, you're
he
telling
does,
me this guy looks younger?
he does get rejuvenated all the time. The guy has like a broken rib, he has a broken shoulder, and they're like, you should
Guy's a
play
vampire.
quarterback this week.
Yeah.
He cleared
Looks like a
concussion
vampire.
protocol in a week as well.
Yeah.
It's not the second concussion of the year. That guy takes an absolute beating.
No, he really does. Let's give
Yeah.
him credit. He does take a beating. And the coach, Dennis Allen, to Rob's earlier point this year, he could be the fuck. I don't know if it's worse in a test between Staley and him. I might take Staley. As crazy as that's. Dennis Allen is actually, he will come across as a guy that no one talks about. He's arguably the worst coach in the NFL.
I think the defensive coordinators that get hired as coaches tend to be really bad.
It never works. Why do you think Schwartz is good as a defensive coordinator in Cleveland? Remember?
Yeah,
when he
a lot of
Lions?
these DCs around the league, most of the bad coaches were previously defensive coordinators because they play like too safe, run the ball, punt. Like it's a different game now, people. Like it's completely different. So those are all the guys that I think around the league.
By the way, Pat, I've noticed something. When you're older, you're a better looking version of Jim Schwartz. You look like, I'm telling you, I looked at Jim Schwartz. I go, that guy, that's Mayo when he's older. But he's got a trick eye though a little bit. So
do I. I also have a trick eye. I just fix it in post production. And I had that trick eye earlier in the year when I had to wear the eye patch.
Yeah, yar. I love the pirate look. I'm so down with pirates. So are we taking the
except
Jags,
this week where we're not doing the pirate theme?
Yes. All right. So Cam, hit him with your 7-point teaser. Who you got?
Oh no, I'm going to take every friggin' game.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a 12-bagger. Are you ready?
Sure.
Chargers plus 10, Vikings plus 10.5, Steelers plus 9.5. Don't want to cross it. Lions plus 3. This is where you guys do whatever you want with this information. Bears plus 10.5. Chiefs minus 2.5. Jets plus 15.5. Giants plus 13. Packers plus 3.5. Do I do Falcons plus 4 or Carolina plus 10? You guys help me with that one. I got everything for the rest.
No, this is your. I'm not going to be the guy
Carolina
that loses.
Plus 10. Oh God, but not leave it out. Houston plus 10. Commies plus 13.5. 49ers minus 6.5. Bills plus 5.5. Jaguars plus 10. Seahawks plus Eagles plus 3. Sorry, and that's it.
That's it. Now, remember, Rob doesn't want to hear that you went 15-1 next week. He only wants to hear about it.
It's 14-1. He left out the Panthers.
That's right.
14-1.
Yeah, 14-1's no good on this show.
I understand, but I won a 7-game last week.
I know. So now you're doubling it.
Yeah, that's just kind of stupid, but that's what I do. It's fun.
Give us one for just Saturday. If you had to play a teaser for just Saturday, what would it be?
Thank you, Pat. Dogs, all of them, every single one. Give me. You want a 6-pointer or 7? You tell me how you want it.
Whatever you would like.
Oh, okay, good. Here we go. Now we're just going to do a 7. Chargers plus 10, Vikings plus 10.5, Steelers plus 9.5. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
All right. I'm going to put in Cam's 15-play teaser, but as a parlay, and I'm just going to take the sides that he likes.
Yeah, and just do money lines.
Parlay spreads. $20 to win 312,000.
That doesn't even seem like enough.
Oh, it seems like enough.
The way that this guy's running lately, I might as well just throw him into a parlay.
All right, you know what? Okay, you know what? Let's do it.
It's funny. I don't know. I'm still owing people money somehow. Like it's alcohol. Like
it's because we're playing these parlays. That's why. If you just bet these individually every week, you'd be retired on an island. Instead, you put them into like 28-game parlays.
I guess that's what makes me, Rob. Real stupid. Not as bad as Dennis Allen though. That guy's done dumber stuff than me.
A lot of dogs. On this teaser.
It's a big teaser.
You put the Bills through 0, right?
I don't care.
No, he put the he took the Bills. Yeah, he took the Bills.
And the Eagles through as well. Oh yeah, there we go. 20
back.
That's
it. I only did two.
You know what?
All the rest are what?
They're giving me a 70% parlay boost because I'm doing a 15-leg parlay. So my $20 pays 538,000. So take that.
There it is.
Wow. I just got invited to I just got an email getting invited to their VIP program.
I don't get any emails other than you owe me money. Let's meet up.
Pat got the joke.
And I'm winning.
Pat very much got the joke.
I didn't I have nothing.
That will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. At Cam Stewart Live on X and at Sports Grid. You can watch him every single day. I'm still working through what we're going to do for our New Year's show, but I have a new idea that I do want to run by the both of you at Rob Pizzola on Twitter, on X, by the way, and Hammer.bet for Progress YouTube channel. How about this? How about There's two things, because the big fat quiz thing is probably not going to work because you need everyone to be in the same room realistically for that to be any good. So we can do it where I quiz you guys on things that happened this year. That's a lot of prep on my part, so I don't want to do that. What if we do a draft where we have to draft, we do each sport, or we just kind of rank what's the one thing from each sport, then there's like 5 of us and we get 5 separate things, and therefore we can recap each sport. I'm struggling here.
Sorry, I'm kind of.
I'm trying to process this all in real time.
Sorry.
Okay.
Even Rob's having problems with this one.
Okay,
are we making bets or
no?
What's happening?
Let's say hey, here is the one thing that you want to talk about from this one. Here's a list of 6 sports. Pick the one thing that you want to talk about from that sport that you think is the big thing of the year, and then we can just go sport by sport.
Shit. I hate those
year in review
shows. They do that.
Cam's not a year in review.
No,
guy.
we're gonna do something else, Pat. It's gonna involve betting. Food,
15 games, throw them all together.
Yeah, that's what we do. We don't do year in review.
But we're trying to make it evergreen so people can enjoy it.
Oh, I see. Okay. I don't know. Can we talk about this another time?
Yeah, we can do that another time. We can do it off air. Anyway, I'm Pat Mayo. You can follow me at the PME. Sub to the channel, smash the like, and go to Spotify because there's always going to be a poll up on Spotify, which will dictate future content. All right? So go do that, please. Play in the Listeners League as well. I will see you next time.
That Mayo experience. Experience.